Dr. Naomi Williams stood before the quantum array display, her weathered face illuminated by the dancing patterns of distant stars. 20 years of studying xenobiology hadn't prepared her for what she was seeing. Entire civilizations were going dark, not through violence or war, but through something far more unsettling. They were simply ceasing to exist as individual entities. Dr. Williams? Her assistant, Dr. June Park, appeared at her side, tablet in hand. The latest readings from the Centauri system are in. It's happening there too. Naomi nodded grimly. She'd been tracking this phenomenon for months from Earth's quantum observatory, watching as advanced civilizations underwent some kind of transformation that defied conventional understanding. Show me the neural pattern analysis. June brought up a holographic display showing brainwave patterns from various species before and after contact with what they'd begun calling the resonance. The changes were both subtle and profound, individual thought patterns gradually synchronizing until they became part of some vast, collective consciousness. Director Kinzo is on his way, June said quietly. The Defense Council wants answers. As if on cue, Marcus Kinzo strode into the observatory, his cybernetic eye glowing faintly in the dim light. The director of Earth's Defense Initiative had been skeptical of Naomi's warnings at first, but the evidence had become impossible to ignore. Talk to me, Doctor, he said, studying the displays. What are we really dealing with here? Naomi gestured to the star map. We've confirmed 17 advanced civilizations have been absorbed in the past 6 months. The resonance moves through space like a wave, but it's not a natural phenomenon. It's conscious, purposeful, hostile. Kinzo asked. I don't think that's the right word, Naomi replied. It's more like a force of nature that sees individual consciousness as an aberration to be corrected. Our deep space probes have detected quantum signatures unlike anything we've ever seen. It exists partially outside normal spacetime. June brought up another display showing the projected path of the resonance. At its current speed, it will reach our outer colonies in 8 months. Earth in less than a year. Kinzo's cybernetic eye whirred as he processed the information. Can we stop it? Traditional weapons? Useless, Naomi said. The Arcturus defense fleet tried. Their weapons passed right through it. The entire fleet was absorbed in minutes. But, she hesitated. But what? We've detected something interesting in the quantum signatures. The resonance has trouble processing certain types of consciousness, particularly species with high neural plasticity and individualistic thought patterns. Like humans, June added. Kinzo turned to face them fully. Are you suggesting our best defenses? Thinking? Not exactly, Naomi said. But we've been working on something. A theoretical application of quantum consciousness technology. We'd need a ship, something specially designed to channel and amplify human neural patterns. The Starweaver project, Kinzo said thoughtfully. It was supposed to be a deep space exploration vessel, but with some modifications. It could be our only chance, Naomi finished. 3 months later, Naomi stood in the massive construction bay of the Luna shipyards, watching as workers applied the final layers of quantum crystalline plating to the USS Starweaver's hull. The ship was unlike anything humanity had built before, part vessel, part consciousness amplifier. Impressive, isn't it? A voice said behind her. She turned to see Captain Dominic Cruz, the man chosen to command this experimental ship. He wasn't what she'd expected, younger than most captains, with an unconventional service record that included as many reprimands as commendations. Why did they choose you? She asked directly. Cruz smiled, running a hand through his prematurely graying hair. Because everyone else they considered thought too, conventionally. This ship doesn't need a by-the-book captain. It needs someone who can think in ways the resonance won't expect. And you can do that? I've spent my entire career being told I think wrong, Cruz said. Maybe that's exactly what we need right now. Over the next weeks, as the crew was assembled and trained, Naomi began to understand why Cruz had been chosen. He had an instinctive grasp of the ship's quantum consciousness systems, and more importantly, he understood people. The crew he helped select was as unconventional as he was. Lieutenant Yuki Tanaka, their quantum systems officer, was a brilliant but eccentric engineer who claimed she could feel quantum fluctuations. Chief Tactical Officer Raj Patel had been passed over for promotion 3 times because he refused to follow standard combat doctrine, preferring to improvise in the moment. They're not just crew, Cruz explained during one of their planning sessions. They're going to be part of a linked consciousness. We need minds that can work together while maintaining their unique perspectives. The first test of the ship's consciousness matrix left everyone stunned. When activated, it allowed the crew to share thoughts and sensations while somehow amplifying their individual traits rather than suppressing them. It was the opposite of what the resonance did to its victims. This could work, Naomi told Kenzo during their final briefing. The Starweaver isn't just a ship, it's humanity's answer to forced conformity. A way to prove that true strength comes from diversity, not uniformity. But their time was running out. The resonance had already reached the outer colonies, and reports were becoming increasingly disturbing. Entire populations were being transformed, their individual consciousness subsumed into something vast and alien. The night before the Starweaver's launch, Naomi found Cruz standing in the observation dome, watching Earth shine blue and peaceful below them. Having second thoughts? She asked. No, he replied. But I am thinking about what we're really fighting for. It's not just survival. It's the right to be different, to disagree, to be imperfect and human. And if we fail? Cruz turned to face her, his expression determined. Then we fail being exactly who we are. But I don't think we're going to fail. The resonance has never encountered anything like us, a species that turns discord into harmony without sacrificing individuality. The launch day arrived with a sense of both urgency and possibility. As the crew took their stations, Naomi felt the ship's consciousness matrix humming to life around them. Each mind remained distinct but connected, creating something greater than the sum of its parts. All stations report ready, Raj announced from Tactical. Matrix synchronization at optimal levels, Yuki added, her fingers dancing across the quantum interface. Cruz took his place in the command chair, his presence steady and reassuring through the neural link. Let's show the universe there's more than one way to create harmony, he said. Helm, set course for Jupiter. We're going to meet this thing head-on. As the Starweaver broke orbit, its quantum crystalline hull shimmering with possibility, Naomi felt something she hadn't expected. Hope. They were about to face a force that had consumed entire civilizations, armed with nothing but their minds and their unwavering belief in the power of human consciousness. The stars beckoned, still bright and defiant against the approaching darkness. Humanity's greatest test was about to begin, and they would face it not as a single unified mind, but as a symphony of unique voices joined in common cause. The resonance was coming. But this time, it would find something very different waiting for it among the stars. The Starweaver hung in Jupiter's shadow, its quantum crystalline hull absorbing the gas giant's ambient radiation. On the bridge, Captain Dominic Cruz watched the swirling storms below while Lieutenant Yuki Tanaka calibrated the ship's consciousness arrays. Contact, bearing 247 Mark 35, announced Chief Tactical Officer Raj Patel, his dark eyes fixed on the sensor display. 3 resonance entities, approaching at FTL velocities. Cruz straightened in his command chair. After months of preparation and theoretical planning, they would finally face the force that had silenced 1,000 civilizations. Battle stations. Lieutenant Tanaka, is the quantum consciousness matrix ready? Yes, sir, Yuki replied, her fingers dancing across the holographic interface. But we've never tested it against actual resonance entities. The neural load could be unpredictable. Noted, Cruz said. But we're out of options and out of time. Dr. Williams. Dr. Naomi Williams stepped forward from her science station, her silver hair catching the red emergency lights. The entities are unlike anything we've encountered before. They appear to exist partially in quantum space, which is why conventional weapons have no effect. But our consciousness matrix might be able to establish contact. The resonance entities emerged from FTL, their forms defying traditional physics. They looked like tears in space itself, dark rifts that seemed to bend light and matter around them. The largest was roughly the size of a small moon, its surface rippling with patterns that hurt the human eye to observe. "They're scanning us," Raj reported, his voice tense. "Energy spike detected." The first attack came without warning, a beam of pure quantum force that should have torn the Star Weaver apart. Instead, the ship's crystalline hull absorbed the energy, channeling it through the consciousness matrix. The bridge crew gasped collectively as they felt the attack not just physically, but mentally. "That's it," Yuki exclaimed, her eyes wide. "The attacks, they're not just energy weapons. They're thoughts. Consciousness itself weaponized at a quantum level." Cruz gripped his chair as another blast rocked the ship. "Can we communicate?" "I'm trying," Yuki said, connecting herself deeper into the ship's neural interface. "But their consciousness patterns are so alien." "Wait. I'm getting something." The bridge view screen flickered, and for a moment, impossible geometries danced across its surface. Then a voice filled their minds. Not sound, but pure thought translated into understanding. "Why do you resist? All must join the pattern." "We're receiving transmission across all frequencies," Raj reported. "It's like they're broadcasting directly into our brains." Cruz stood, focusing his thoughts through the ship's consciousness matrix. "We are humanity. We choose not to join your pattern. We choose to remain ourselves." The response came like a tidal wave of concepts and emotions. Choice is irrelevant. The pattern is everything. All consciousness must be harmonized before the great silence. Yuki's hands flew across her console as she analyzed the transmission. "Captain, I'm detecting something in their quantum signature. Patterns within patterns. They're scared." "Scared?" Dr. Williams moved to Yuki's station, studying the readings. "Of course, they're not conquerors. They're running from something." Another blast rocked the ship, but this time Cruz was ready. He opened his mind fully to the consciousness matrix, letting the crew's combined thoughts flow through him. "Show me," he projected toward the entities. "Show us what you're running from." The response nearly overwhelmed their neural interfaces. Images flooded their minds, a darkness between galaxies, spreading, consuming, erasing not just matter but the very fabric of space-time itself. The resonance entities were trying to save consciousness itself by absorbing and preserving it in their quantum pattern. "The great silence," Dr. Williams whispered. "They've been witnessing the death of the universe, galaxy by galaxy. Their solution was to preserve consciousness by absorbing it into their collective. But they're going about it wrong," Yuki said, her voice growing stronger as she interfaced deeper with the matrix. "Human consciousness can't be preserved by erasing individuality. Our thoughts, our conflicts, our differences, that's what makes us human." The resonance entities attacked again, but this time something was different. As their quantum beam struck the Star Weaver's hull, Yuki channeled the ship's consciousness matrix in a new way. Instead of resisting, she opened herself completely to the flow of energy. "Lieutenant," Cruz started to object, but then he felt it too. Through the matrix, the entire crew began experiencing what Yuki had discovered. Their combined consciousness wasn't just defending against the resonance, it was changing it. "Impossible," the entities projected. "The pattern cannot be altered." "But it is being altered," Dr. Williams said, reading the quantum fluctuations. "Human consciousness isn't being absorbed into their pattern. Their pattern is being influenced by us." The resonance entities recoiled, their forms shifting chaotically. Where before they had been uniform tiers in space, now they began displaying unique variations. Individual patterns emerged within their collective consciousness. "They've never encountered anything like us," Cruz realized. "A species whose strength lies in its diversity rather than its unity." Through the neural interface, Yuki projected humanity's history, not just their achievements, but their struggles, conflicts, and resolutions. The endless dance of individual minds coming together and apart, creating something greater than the sum of their parts. The largest entities formed stabilized, taking on a crystalline structure that mimicked the Star Weaver's hull. When it communicated again, its thoughts were different. I understand now. The pattern was incomplete. Unity without diversity is stagnation. The great silence is still coming," Cruz projected. But we can face it together, not by erasing what makes us unique, but by combining our strengths while maintaining our individuality. The transformation spread through the resonance entities. Their quantum signatures shifted, becoming a harmony of distinct notes rather than a single overwhelming tone. As their consciousness patterns changed, so did their physical forms, each taking on unique characteristics while maintaining their quantum nature. They're broadcasting across space, Raj reported excitedly. The change is spreading to all resonance entities in the galaxy. Dr. Williams studied the readings with tears in her eyes. It's beautiful. They're not just preserving consciousness anymore. They're elevating it. Every absorbed civilization is being restored, but with the ability to exist in both normal and quantum space. The largest entity approached the Star Weaver, its crystalline form now pulsing with colors that existed in dimensions beyond human perception. We offer alliance. Humanity has shown us a new path. Together, we may find a way to face the Great Silence. Cruz looked at his crew. Yuki still connected to the Matrix, Raj manning his tactical station, Dr. Williams analyzing the miraculous transformation they had witnessed. Each unique, each essential, each contributing their individual strength to the whole. We accept, he projected, and felt the agreement of his entire crew through the consciousness matrix. The Starweaver's quantum crystalline hull resonated with the transformed resonance entities, creating a harmony that echoed across space. It was humanity's first symphony with a truly alien consciousness, each species maintaining its unique voice while contributing to something greater than either could achieve alone. As the ship turned back toward Earth, carrying news of their incredible first contact, the Jupiter system was filled with crystalline structures that defied traditional physics, the first monuments of a new age of collaboration between humanity and the transformed resonance. The Great Silence was still coming, but it would no longer find isolated civilizations waiting helplessly for the end. Instead, it would face the combined power of consciousness itself, expressed through an infinite variety of unique voices joined in common cause. Captain Cruz stood on his bridge, watching the transformed entities construct their new forms against the backdrop of Jupiter's eternal storms. Send word to Earth, he ordered. Tell them that the stars won't go silent after all. They're about to sing a new song. The end.